Welcome everybody. Willkommen. Buenas tardes. There we go. Yes. So one of the first things we would ask you to do is that you add to your name, those who haven't done it yet, the language. You have those 3 dots on your frame, and one of them then change your name, and you just add the language in which one you want to have the breakout rooms. So eines der Sachen, die wir euch als erstes bitten, weil wir dieses Mal auch Breakout Rooms haben werden. Und da möchten wir auf eure Sprachen Rücksicht nehmen und daher bitte bei euren Namen einfach die Sprache, in der ihr euren Breakout Room haben wollt, dazugeben. Es gibt bei eurem Bild, habt ihr oben diese 3 Punkte. Wenn ihr da draufklickt, gibt es die Option Umbenennen. Stella, Spanish version, please.
Hola, buenas tardes. Por favor, lo que decía recién mi compañera es que si quieres recibir esta sesión en español y estar luego en el trabajo de las salas de reunión, que por favor lo pongas al lado de tu nombre, que renombres el idioma que quieres. Gracias.
So as you see, we're making some improvements every time. So we now added live transcript, but it only works for English. So at least something, we're getting there. Ihr werdet merken, es gibt jetzt die Möglichkeit, das CC, das Live Transcript anzuzeigen. Allerdings funktioniert das leider nur auf Englisch. We're going step by step. Stella?
Okay. Se hará la reunión en inglés y luego trabajaremos, como decía antes, en las salas, hacia las salas de trabajo, en el idioma que, bueno, que él hayas elegido.
And now I officially welcome you to our session of today with the Kula-Bhrājana Europe Online. Welcome, it's great that you join us. Es freut mich, euch bei unserer heutigen Session von Kula-Bhrājana Europe Online begrüßen zu dürfen. Stella, you want to make a short welcome?
No, estaba viendo que solo está Anita en español y me dice que puede hablar en alemán también. O sea que la única en español es Anita. It's the only one in Spanish, Anita. She can speak in German too. Okay. Sorry.
For those who joined last time already, they know already what the Kula-Bhrājana, what it means. We're talking about illuminating our Kula, our Anusara Kula, which goes allowing the light to the Kula to shine, but also allowing the light off to shine. Kurz noch auf Deutsch, für die beim letzten Mal, also die heute neu sind, Kula-Bhrājana, es geht vor allem um das Licht des Kulas scheinen zu lassen. Einerseits auf das Kula, allerdings oder auch vom Kula heraus. A little bit of housekeeping. Please mute your microphone if you're not talking. Mikros bitte stumm schalten. Silencia el microfono. I can even offer that in Spanish. You can switch to the gallery view, auf die Galerieansicht wechseln. Or por favor, use vista de galería. Ihr könnt euch natürlich gerne jederzeit melden. Es ist generell ein sehr interaktives Gespräch. Wir machen diesmal auch Breakout Rooms, also Léah wird Breakout Rooms machen. You can always ask questions in the chat. Stella can watch the ones in Spanish, I watch the one in English. Und wenn ihr auf Deutsch Fragen habt im Chat, dann versuche ich die zu beantworten. So, yeah, that's me. We can jump that already. We are faster than that. Ich springe da mal kurz drüber. Genau. Today's presentation will be done by Léah, our country coordinator from the Netherlands. Léah has a huge background in yoga, several styles of yoga, and she joined or discovered Anusara in 2008. She has a professional dancing background and a singing background. So there are lots of different how do you say that, background she pulls from. Léah ist unsere Country-Koordinatorin für die Niederlande, macht schon ewig lange Yoga, seit 2008 Anusara und kommt eigentlich vom Tanzen und ist auch zugleich professionelle Sängerin. Stella, you want to make that short in Spanish?
Wait a minute, please. Yes. Kula-Bhrājana, let me see, please. Hoy, bueno, pues Léah nos presentará ejercicios acerca de cómo ejercitar nuestro cerebro, encontrando la esencia en ello.
Oh, and with that, Léah, I would hand over to you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Léah Kline, as they said, and I'm going to share with you some of the philosophy talks that I like to have with teachers. But as I advertise, this is also a great way to learn to listen. And in keeping with a non-dual tantric philosophy, we are just going to practice some of these ways of listening from finding the essence, which I'll explain all in a second. We can make themes for our classes. I'm just curious, can you write in the chat how many of you are teachers? If you're a teacher, you can raise your hand or do the raise your hand thing.
¿Cuántos de ustedes son profesores? Pregunta Léah.
Wenn ihr unterrichtet, könnt ihr entweder die Hand heben bei den Reaktionen oder es auch in den Chat kurz reinschreiben.
Wunderbar. Great. Sorry, horrible German. Thank you very much. I'm going to now share my screen because I think it's easier to read as well as let's see, hopefully you can you guys all see my screen? I see 3 people nodding. Good. So let's see. No. So today we are going to exercise the brain muscle to talk about philosophy. Just like mathematics, philosophy is an abstract concept, and we want to learn how to listen is really important. As Anusara teachers or students, we want to practice listening with our non-dual tantric philosophy in mind. When we are doing this, it allows us to feel compassion, but also to make a connection. Should I just keep going?
Maybe shortly.
In
Spanish.
En Spanish. Bueno, la filosofía es abstracta y tenemos desde esta filosofía el entendimiento de escuchar, que es muy importante. Como estudiantes de Anusara queremos practicar escuchando en esta filosofía no dual tántrica, y esto nos permite abrirnos a la compasión y a la conexión.
Für die das Anusara Teacher Training gemacht haben oder ein Immersion, kommt relativ viel Philosophie vor, die ist immer relativ abstrakt, und eines der wesentlichen Teile von Anusara Teacher und Students Verhältnis ist auch, dass man mit diesem Non-Dual Tantric Philosophy zuhört. Das ermöglicht eine Verbindung untereinander, miteinander, mit der Kula auch, und auch Verständnis füreinander. Die non-duale Tantra, also diese non-duale Tantra-Philosophie ist eines der elementaren Aspekte von Anusara. Und das wird heute auch der Hauptaugenmerk sein, auf den Léah besonders eingehen wird.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's back to you.
So we are going to do some exercises. I will explain them, and my idea is we will go into groups where we can practice in our own language to get a feeling for what it is to listen in this way and talk in this way. Yeah. So the 4 philosophies that I'd like to share with you are the easiest ones to start with. The first one is, as we know, the many become the one. That's what it means to be non-dual. So the whole concept of chitti breaking out into many different pieces, and that all of us are the many. When we look to find what is keeping us together or what we have in common, this sort of allows us to make that connection. The next thing we're going to do is to talk about the kleshas, a source of suffering, a way to look and listen. Another phrase we're going to work at is look for the good and go deeper, which if you're in Anusara, you probably heard that 1,000 times. Then we're going to do an exercise about speaking to the yes.
Okay.
So, you want to go first? Spanish?
Okay. Bueno, pues las 4 filosofías de Anusara para trabajar hoy serán lo mucho que se convierte en uno, reconocer las posibles kleshas o fluctuaciones de la mente como fuente de sufrimiento y mirar por lo bueno para ir más profundo. Hablar con el yes, hablando con el sí, con el yes.
So 4 Aspekte, die wir uns heute genauer anschauen werden, beziehungsweise über die wir auch in den Breakout-Rooms reden werden. Eine ist, der wahrscheinlich auch schon bekannt ist das, eine Quintessenz des Non-Dualen, dass jeder ein Teil des Ganzen ist, beziehungsweise das Ganze in jedem repräsentiert wird. Wir haben dann auch das Thema der Kleshas, die das Leiden verursachen. Da wird es ein paar Beispiele geben. Etwas, was ihr vielleicht von eurem eigenen, vom Zuhören oder auch vom eigenen Unterrichten auch schon kennt, ist dieses nach dem Guten schauen, nach dem guten Aushalt schauen, glaube ich. Boah, ich kriege die Sprachen durcheinander. Und da immer tiefer gehen und vom Ja, also positiv sprechen, das Ja suchen, beziehungsweise mit dem Ja auch reden.
Yeah, good. Thank you. So we want to
Léah, feel free to.
We want to listen with our non-dual philosophy in mind. So the many become the one become the many. This is a lot of what is inside of our non-dual philosophy. And this is listening to the source or what's going on deep in the background. And this is what I call the essence. When we learn to find the possible source of the essence of the comments, then we will be able to make a connection. We're going to break into groups to practice some listening techniques and positive ways to support a high vibration. So do we need to translate that?
¿Sí?
Sí.
Ok. Bueno, queremos escuchar mediante nuestra filosofía no dual en nuestra propia mente aquello de lo mucho se vuelve lo único o el uno, o lo uno se vuelve lo mucho. Esta es la fuente, ¿no? Lo que nos puede llevar hacia lo más profundo que nosotros podemos experimentar en todas las cosas, y a esto le llamamos la esencia. Aprender a reconocer la posible fuente o la esencia que te puede ayudar a encontrar esto, ¿no? Y trabajaremos, como decía antes Léah, en salas, en grupos para practicar las técnicas y hablar y escuchar de forma positiva para ayudarnos a conseguir una vibración alta.
Wir wollen üben, heute jetzt in diesen Breakout-Rooms und auch eigentlich allgemein, um das später in unser Lernen und unser Unterricht mitzunehmen, mit diesen non-dualen Philosophie zuzuhören. Dieses, was vorher schon erwähnte, dieses, dass jeder Teil des Ganzen ist und das Ganze sich in jedem findet, das im Hintergrund behalten und unter die Oberfläche zu gehen, tiefer zu schauen und schauen, was sind die Gründe für zum Beispiel Leiden oder bestimmtes Verhalten. Und da werden wir erkennen, aus Erfahrung heraus, dass wir uns ja oft ähnlich sind, dass es oft ähnliche Probleme gibt, aber auch ähnliche Gründe zur Freude. Und dass diese grundlegenden Themen sind das, was dann Léah, wie auch in die Essence, das Essentielle nennt. Dieses Erkennen von diesen essentiellen Gründen, von das, was unter der Oberfläche liegt, hilft uns, das Wahre zu finden. Und das werden wir jetzt dann gleich in den Breakout-Rooms üben.
So, let's get started. Here are, and you might want to write these down. According to yoga and Buddhist philosophies, there are only 5 reasons why people are suffering at the source. So if you take the details out and you keep going deeper and deeper, then you will discover that these are the sources of suffering. It might be fun if you take a moment and think of an example. Please put it in the chat if you'd like to, in your own language, of what is avidya, ignorance. An example of someone suffering from ignorance. And you can translate that. And we're going to go through each of these so people can, as we go through, type in, just so you participate, what would be an example.
Wir gehen jetzt Schritt für Schritt die 5 Kleshas durch. Das erste ist Ignoranz. Wenn ihr wollt, falls euch Beispiele dazu einfallen, könnt ihr die gerne mal schon in den Chat reinschreiben. Vielleicht aus eigener Erfahrung oder auch, was ihr von anderen gehört habt.
¿Alguien puede poner algún ejemplo de avidya, de ignorancia, por ejemplo?
So an example of maybe avidya, ignorance. I didn't know. People who haven't experienced something yet often suffer because of lack of teaching, lack of learning, not knowing how to align their bodies, and having an injury is actually due to ignorance. Accidentally insulting somebody is avidya, where the person is not aware of cultural differences. This is an example of avidya.
Sylvia just wrote in a chat a really good one, I think. She
good.
wrote, if you think you know, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You do not know, but you think you know, but you can be quite ignorant too.
Exactly. Good. Nice. Thank you, Sylvia. We're going to do this in breakout rooms, but I'm just going to go through them in English. So, Asmita, yeah, I'm better than my neighbor. And let's look at students on the yoga mat, like competition, competing with a more experienced student or someone maybe younger than you, and you push yourself on the yoga mat because you are very busy with competition. Anyone else have an idea of what Asmita might be?
Das zweite Asmita ist Egoismus oder was dann Egoismus/Wettbewerb, dieser wahrscheinlich auch teilweise kennen, wenn man sich halt doch bei Yoga auch vergleicht mit anderen auf der Matte. Glaubt man ist besser. in manchen. Das wäre so ein Beispiel für Asmita. Wenn ihr andere Beispiele habt, gerne in den Chat reinschreiben.
Okay. Asmita, por ejemplo, podría ser en el mat o en la esterilla la competencia que puedas sentir con otros profesores o con las propias personas con las que estás practicando, ¿no? Ese egoísmo que parte desde esa necesidad de sentir que eres más o eres menos que los demás.
So, and I even translate the names. Just wrote in the chat in German to think that their own point of view is like the obvious one. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That
also when
everybody else believes.
Or when people are only talking about what they're experiencing, there is not an interest in the other person. Sometimes teachers suffer from asmita. You know, they only talk about their experiences, their teachers, their stories. They're not interested in their students, and there's so in that sense, asmita could be present. Number 3, raga, attachment. Anyone want to guess an idea? Have you experienced someone suffering from raga?
¿Hay alguna persona que tenga experiencia en raga que es el apego, attachment? ¿Qué experiencias podéis escribir o decir en español sobre esta klesha, raga, el apego?
Habt ihr den, also es kommen schon, ich muss gar nicht fragen, ob ihr den habt, weil es kommen schon Ideen, was Raga sein könnte. Anhänglichkeit, wobei diese Anhänglichkeit auch eine Tendenz zur Abhängigkeit dann hat. Und wir hatten schon ein paar Beispiele, zum Beispiel gerne kann nicht einen Tag ohne Kaffee überleben. Gerne can not survive a day without a coffee.
Fantastic.
Yeah, pretty much, I think it's a very common one.
Yeah. I can't survive a day without coffee. Wonderful. Anyone else want to guess or experience? Perhaps you might want to consider something that you are suffering from today. And if you look, it will boil down to one of these 5. Like, what is your complaint today? Oh, it's raining. Over here, it's raining. It's always raining. I only want sunshine.
Léah está diciendo que está lloviendo mucho donde está ella, que es en Holanda.
Léah hat sich gerade als ein sehr passendes Beispiel für eins der Kleshas über den Regen beschwert, der ja übrigens bei mir auch gerade, also Regen ist untertrieben, es schüttet gerade. Und dieser Wunsch, dass ihm immer die Sonne scheinen soll, das kann sogar philosophisch im übertragenen Sinne auch der Fall sein soll.
Yeah. We have one comment from Lidwina, which is great. It's a practical comment, like people who are biking on the sidewalk, because it'll allow you to get faster to the shop. Like it takes too much time to park your bicycle, and then lock it and then walk to the shop. This could be a combination of, yeah, it's definitely egoism, asmita. Really good. Good, you guys. Wonderful. Let's go on to number 4, dvesha, repulsion and aversion. I think the thing in Holland for sure that is a very big thing is the smell of sweat. The cleanliness that is there, this aversion to sweating at all or being too close to somebody, where in India everybody's mats are just like this, you know, and that we have a repulsion to a way of what we're used to in our culture, and we are used to it, and everything else is disgusting. Can you think of something that would fall under that category for you?
Léah hat gerade als Beispiel für Dvesha, also für Ablehnung, gebracht, dass scheinbar in den Niederlanden, ich wusste das nicht, wobei es hier wahrscheinlich auch ähnlich ist, Schweiß. Also einfach, wenn halt Leute wirklich schwitzen, einerseits, sage ich mal, von der Körperflüssigkeit, aber wahrscheinlich auch vom Geruch her, dass es da eine sehr kulturell tief verankerte Ablehnung dagegen gibt, wohingegen das zum Beispiel in Indien ganz anders ist. Und ja, zum Beispiel Claudia, älter werden, faltengraue Haare ist definitiv ein Thema, das auch ein Klischee, das im Marketing auch dementsprechend ausgenutzt wird. Claudia just wrote down getting older.
Yeah.
Gray hair and wrinkles, and I just added that, yeah, it's one of the clichés which are very often used in marketing.
Yeah, exactly. Stella?
Bueno, el número 4 de las kleshas es dvesha y Léah está contando acerca, bueno, qué significa repulsión y aversión. Está contando que a veces, bueno, pues uno de los temas de repulsión o de aversiones es al sudor de las personas o al olor que puedan causar ciertas personas, como por ejemplo en la India, que las personas como se comen con mucho picante, pues pueden tener un olor en la piel o en su alrededor que causa esa sensación de rechazo. Así que eso puede ser una de los ejemplos, ¿no? que puede ser esta klesha, que podamos tener en nuestras prácticas.
Thank you. Number 5 is actually very present in the sense that Abhinivesha, I use this comment a lot about, like, I ask one of my students how they're doing, and they come and they say, you know, my father's in the hospital, or my cat just died, or yeah, something like this. And Abhinivesha is fear of death and wanting to live and holding on to life. So you could say that raga is also involved in Abhinivesha. The thing is, when people hear that somebody's sick or somebody is dying, they relate to the object, but the point about the suffering of Abhinivesha is the fear of loss, the fear of the death of not only your life, but of things, separating from things. So I want you to think of examples. For instance, when that happens, then the theme is actually loss. The theme is actually fear of death. So I want you to write in the chat any ideas or examples that you would have of Abhinivesha in your life, maybe even.
Abhinivesha es la quinta de las kleshas y está relacionado con el miedo a la muerte y el aferrarte a la vida. Sobre todo, comenta Léah que es como el miedo a perder cosas, ¿no? Como está relacionado con raga, con el apego a las cosas, los objetos, ¿no? Así que ese sería Abhinivesha, como el último de las kleshas.
Das 5. Klischee, Abhinivesha, ist die Angst vom Tod, wobei da dieser zugleich in Verbundenheit mit diesem Festhalten an weltlichen Besitztümern damit verbunden ist. Also es ist nicht nur ein Lebenswille, wie er überall vorhanden ist, sondern man will das, was man erreicht hat, was man erworben hat, nicht verlassen. And Ghana wrote before that I'm so attached to this amazing life that I hate to die.
Ja.
Er schrieb vorhin, er hängt so an diesem Leben, dass er nicht sterben will, wobei ihm dieses Dranhängen, dieses Zwanghafte dabei, das Klesha auch ausmacht. But I think the Klesha is that you have this, how do you say it? It's not, you don't just want to die, it's like you really cling to it. And you don't want to die because of all your worldly material possessions, which is the main things.
divorce, yeah, all sorts of options. And it's the suffering that occurs from this is what the yogic teaching is that everything boils down to one of these five. And in fact, some people say, some of the theories are that all the four, number 2, 3, 4, and 5, all relate to ignorance.
Also es geht natürlich bei den Kleshas darum, um das Leiden, das damit verbunden ist. Und es gibt einige Lehrer, die meinen, dass 2, 3, 4 und 5 alle darauf auf Ignoranz beruhen. Weil natürlich dieses Bewusstsein dafür, oder in dem Fall nicht Bewusstsein und diese Ignoranz, die man hat, erst zu Ashmita, Raga, Dvesha und Abhinivisha führt.
Ja.
Sí, que decía Léah que están todos relacionados con avijja, ¿no? Con la ignorancia, que Ashmita, Raga, Dvesha y Abhinavesha es como que parten, ¿no? Desde avijja en realidad, desde la ignorancia, de creer que todo parte de uno mismo, no de algo mayor.
Thank you. So we're going to break out into groups just for fun. Yay! So I don't know how we're going to do this. This is the first time we have done multiple languages, and we asked you to put in your name, in the top corner, to put your name so that maybe Daniela can help group people. Essentially, you're just going to first start with yourself. One of you goes and shares something that you're suffering from. And we, the listener, will guess. So write down these 5 kleshas on a piece of paper so that when we go into the breakout room, you can refer to this and practice listening. What's at the bottom of this person's suffering or complaint? And how many minutes should we give?
6, 7, 8 or so, because we need to look a bit at the time.
Okay, let's go for 8. So it's our first exercise. We get like a little warmed up. I don't know if there's anyone left to have me talk to them, and I will lead a group as well.
Wir machen jetzt die Breakout Rooms. Unser Vorschlag ist, dass wer immer möchte, eines der Klesha, unter denen er leidet, mitteilt, also wobei man nicht unbedingt, falsch rum, etwas mitteilt, worunter man leidet, so rum, und die anderen das dazugehörige Klesha erraten, beziehungsweise dann halt auch auf den Grund gehen. Wir nehmen dafür uns ungefähr 8 Minuten Zeit, weil wir auch ein bisschen auf die Zeit achten müssen.
Stella?
Okay. Let me see, please. Vamos a trabajar ahora en grupos y trabajaremos en adivinar cuál klesha sería el que corresponde a la esencia de las que a continuación hemos trabajado,
Are we ready? Are you doing the breakout rooms, Danielle? Am I doing the breakout rooms? You're on mute, Daniela.
Sorry, I thought you do, and I just wanted to check Claudia, I don't know. Which language would you need?
Deutsch.
Deutsch. Okay. Yeah, you doing it?
Julia, perdona, ¿quieres estar en la sala de trabajo en español? Por favor, ponte al lado de tu nombre para que Daniela pueda ponerte en la sala de español, ¿vale? Ponte español, por favor, donde se renombra. Gracias.
All right. One moment while Are you guys all writing down the kleshas on your piece of paper? Ghana, I guess you'll be English. If I don't see German in your name, I don't know what to do with you. So please, this is how the breakout rooms work.
There are a few who are German and English, so as we have a lot of German, we may would put the German and English ones into an English group.
Well,
Por favor, todos los que, por ejemplo, queréis estar en el grupo de trabajo en español, al lado de vuestro nombre, que aparece en pantalla, poner español. Gracias.
what is DT?
German. Auf Deutsch.
Oh.
Deutsch auf Deutsch.
Uh-huh. Well, we've got a big German group. Daniela, you're going to enjoy that very much.
Manage that all.
Let's see.
All
right.
Léah,
ready?
Susana
Yes?
Ferreira is in Spanish too, but she's driving. She has not hands to,
we'll see.
to right now.
Okay. Off you go. I don't see any possibility countdown. Yeah. See you in a moment. This is so much fun and being recorded.
Hey.
Julia, you're with me. Sorry. I'm going to assign you to Español. So, hello, everybody. So let's hear from one of you. Let's see. So let's hear from one of you something you're suffering from. Anyone like to share?
Hey.
Just and we can listen and practice, seeing if we can organize one of the. Welcome.
Yeah. Hey. Good evening. All right.
evening.
I have so I have to say the suffering.
Yeah.
without,
Anything. It could be
saying
your
the klesha,
suffering
right?
or some. Yeah. Some. No, we're gonna guess the klesha.
Okay. All right. You know, I'm Ukrainian, so you've followed the news, the war, a lot of people on the move for the war. And what I maybe they're suffering is the change of the situation, right? Because you get accustomed to the life, how you are, and like certain ways. And yeah, like it's a lot of stress. And also it's like you actually try to avoid the change as much as possible, let's say. So can you guess the klesha? Something like this? Like it's a lot of discomfort to change your ways, something like this.
Anyone? Ariana of Lidwina, would you like to guess?
Maybe Tvesha, the repulsion and aversion one.
Yeah, a bit, but I meant the other one. But that's, yeah, very much, let's say, typical of a war. Yeah, repulsion, aversion. Yeah. And any other guess?
I think fear. I can imagine. I try to imagine your situation. I can imagine fear of death.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the abnivisha. Yeah, also absolutely. Yeah. One more, maybe. Thank you. So I think this all are together, and I was thinking myself of raga, because raga is also like you're attached to the ways you are accustomed to live at some certain place. You know, I mean, like they're all combined, right? Like, why are you fleeing? Because you're afraid of death, right? And this repulsion, aversion, we hate war, right? And the raga is that we are losing, or people from Ukraine are losing, you know, like their homes and their ways of living and how they, you know, like are used to have things going. Yeah, thank you.
And
That
yet
was my
this
story.
all, yeah, and yet this all could boil down to ignorance. Really being
Avidya.
educated, and you know that the news only gives us partial information, and that there might be a lot of information that we're missing. And any of these could be very important themes to teach in a lesson, you know, like our attachment to the way things are, our ability to make opinions without getting more information, our fear of change, and teaching about Shiva, and that change is actually the only constant. All of these are really, when you can sense a suffering, it's a beautiful way to just introduce a klesha. And during the yoga practice, ask yourself if your suffering is being created from one of these kleshas. Yeah, Ariana?
Yeah, I'm currently suffering for the lack of money that I have right now, because me and my family are in a difficult situation for like financial, economical situation. So I'm like, I'm 24, so I'm suffering because I have no money for doing like the experiences that I would like to do right now, especially for yoga, because I have full of workshop of my teachers and I cannot join because I have not the money to do it. My heart is full of wishing to do it, but I cannot, and that is suffering for me right now.
And what do you suppose would be her source of suffering? Either of you?
Attachment.
Two?
Yeah, it's difficult to react from my situation with money, but attachment to things you used to have.
Yeah.
To find another way of relationship to those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That there's an attachment to the way things work.
I was thinking of the asmita, like the I amness, that you're, let's say, centered around your own experiences, and all kind of, yeah, egoistic in a way, selfish.
In a sense that you see yourself only in this manner, that your worth is only
like
financial.
I'm enough if I have followed enough I don't know, trainings of like it's only life is cool, life is good if I can do cool stuff and that I have money for that, something like this.
Yeah. And to be aware of the fact that that might be a source of suffering is then also an opportunity to consider a new perspective.
Exactly. Yeah. Different value also in things that I can do.
Yeah. Let's bring people back and see what has happened to them. I guess I give them 1 minute to round it up. So what do you think? Anyone else? You know, how about, yeah? Go ahead.
It's nice to think about our suffering in this way. And also the idea that you could put more kleshas to one type of suffering or something.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. As you see, as we talk about it, it comes back to a lot of it comes back to ignorance, you know, with the financial situation, that maybe you have something to offer that is equivalent to money. It's energy instead of being money yourself, you know, things
it's
like
time.
this.
Yeah,
it's time. Let's see if we can bring everybody back. Oh, we're not going to get through all of our exercises. We'll see. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing, you too. Yeah. We're missing Lidwina? No.
Yeah.
We are missing your suffering, right?
Yeah, I like to tell, but I don't know if there's time. I like
Well,
to
people
tell.
are coming back. If you'd like to share one really quickly, and we can all guess as we listen in. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At this time, I'm suffering from. I was ill 1 year, and now I'm healthy, but I have difficulties to get used to the healthy life again.
Hmm.
I feel estranged.
Separated, longing for the one.
Yeah.
Which klesha is that?
Raga, maybe attachment to the unhealthy situation or the suffering before.
The way things have been.
Yeah, the past
Yeah.
self.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, everybody. And just to finish that comment, that when we see the possibility of the source of the suffering, this can become a theme for a lesson. We're all our students are suffering on the mat in one way or another, so it becomes a beautiful theme. I'd love to hear what you guys have discussed. However, I do want to share with you these two other exercises. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to push forward into the next exercise. I hope your experience with each other was fun.
Yes.
Talking about suffering. So the point is that when you potentially sense the source of somebody's suffering, yours or another, it creates awareness. To become aware of it, just to mention it. So you don't have to fix somebody's suffering. You just have to allow them to see the possibility that this is a source of it. When we shine a light on what is darkness, what is suffering, this automatically brings some lightness into our situation. Yeah.
Es geht, wie wir, glaube ich, auch gerade gemerkt haben in der Prägung, es geht vor allem halt auch darum, Bewusstsein zu schaffen für diese unterschiedlichen Gründe des Leidens. Es geht, was auch nicht möglich, also es geht nicht darum und es ist auch nicht möglich, jedes Leiden zu lösen, sondern primär schon mal das Bewusstsein zu bringen und zu schaffen, was die Gründe sind für das Leiden.
Lo que una vez que encuentras la fuente del sufrimiento o la identificas, ¿no?, dentro de estas kleshas, lo importante o lo que ayuda en realidad es tomar conciencia de esto y iluminar lo que está oculto. Esto hace que el sufrimiento salga a la luz y aparezca la ligereza.
Really excited about making all the little graphics for that. Okay, so here we are now talking about what is lifting a vibration. Can you please put in the chat what are examples of a high vibration?
¿Podéis poner en el chat ejemplos acerca de vibraciones altas?
What creates a high vibration? Yeah.
¿Cómo se crea las vibraciones altas?
Léah hat nach Beispielen gefragt, was ich glaube, es ist auf Deutsch tatsächlich eine hohe Vibration bringt. Und Björn wrote already love, acceptance, also Liebe und Akzeptanz, loslassen, letting go. And Andres, it's the feeling of the Kula, das Gefühl der Kula.
Nice. Nature, exactly. Tiere, what is that? Tiere, Kinder, children.
Yeah, animals. Nature, animals, and children. Yeah. And Erfülltheit is fulfillment. Does that work? I think, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Andres says the feeling of the Kula.
And we also have thankfulness.
Yeah. The common yogic things that we teach during a yoga lesson is gratitude, compassion, love, forgiveness. These are the well-known yogic teachings of when we consider these in our heart, they bring in us a high vibration.
Gratitud, compasión, amor, perdón, todas estas cualidades que nos hacen sentir que vibramos en una frecuencia alta.
Also Dankbarkeit, Mitgefühl, Liebe und Vergebung sind die Gefühle, die in uns die hohen oder großen, mit Deutsch, hohen Vibrationen auch auslösen. Also es wurden ja auch ein paar davon auch schon im Chat angemerkt.
Yeah. And so essentially the teachings are also that let's take away this. How we raise the vibration, things that encourage and raise intimacy, also positive thoughts and communication, speaking in the positive, what you do want. Here we have nature as well, the presence of beauty, Shri, prana, breath work, and of course exercise, asana, practice.
Bueno, cosas que pueden, digamos, potenciar, ¿no? El elevar las vibraciones, puede ser, por ejemplo, la intimidad, ¿no? Volverte hacia uno mismo, hacia el uno mismo mayor, pensamientos de forma positiva y comunicación positiva. Lo que sí quieres, la presencia de la belleza, los trabajos de respiración, el buen ejercicio, la naturaleza, la naturalidad. Eliminar la dualidad, en definitiva.
Also Sachen oder Beispiele, um unsere Vibration zu erhöhen. Und wir hatten davon auch schon ein paar jetzt im Chat. Natur, Schönheit oder Kunst, Breathwork und Good Exercise in dem Fall. Meistens auch Yoga. Allerdings zumal eben auch positive Gedanken und positives Kommunizieren, und zwar das Reden aus was will ich, also der Fokus auf was will ich und nicht auf was will ich nicht. Das ist einer der...
Yeah, and this is what is also a really good way as people and teachers to practice lifting the vibration. High vibrations have a tendency to bring us out of suffering. So quickly, our next exercise is going to be just this interesting thing. There was a man who did a study, and he measured the vibrations of emotions. And so based on this emotion of love is said to vibrate at a mid-level of 500, anger at a low 150, shame at the lowest of 20, and enlightenment at 700, but pure compassion is said to be the highest at 1,000. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Léah dice que David Hawkins en su libro Poder y Fuerza ha medido la vibración de las emociones. Basado en esto, dice que la emoción del amor, bueno, se dice que vibra en un nivel medio de 500 Hz, megahertz, Léah, 500 Hz.
Yeah.
Ok. Por ejemplo, la ira a menos de 150, la vergüenza la más baja que es a 20 y el empoderamiento a 700. O el enlightenment is the translation is empoderamiento. Y la compasión se dice que es la más alta, a 1000, que vibra a 1000.
Before I translate into German, I just want to offer, because I'm looking a bit at the time. So for those who have belief, we of course understand it. I think, Léah, we would need another 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, otherwise you can tune back in at the and watch the recording
yes.
to get some of the if you do want to get in touch with me and ask me for some of the, well, you can see the recording. I am starting a philosophy group in English next week on Thursday from 4 till 7 if anyone is interested to join. We talk much more closely about these things. Yeah.
Ich übersetze gleich weiter, aber ich schaue auch ein bisschen auf die Uhr. Also für die, die um 9 uns verlassen müssen, ist natürlich kein Problem. Ihr könnt euch gerne jederzeit das Recording, die Aufnahme anschauen. Wir werden wahrscheinlich noch so 10, 15 Minuten brauchen. Ihr könnt gerne dabei bleiben oder schaut euch eben nachher die Aufnahme an.
Estaremos 15 minutos más, no 15 minutes more, yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. 15 minutos más estaremos hoy para terminar de hacer este ejercicio que propone Léah.
Léah, if you could just shortly jump back to the other file because I didn't actually translate it.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sure they understand.
Yeah. David Hawkins hat Messungen von Gefühlen gemacht bezüglich ihrer Vibrationsintensität und ihr seht, dass das Liebe ist so bei 500, Wut ist relativ 150, sehr niedrig. Schamgefühl ist das Niedrigste, was gemessen wurde, und dann kommen wir aber wieder zu den positiven Gefühlen, und da ist Mitgefühl, also oder reines Mitgefühl bei 1000.
Yeah, which is why we want to make this kind of connection to the essence, because it creates compassion. That's the whole point.
Ja, das ist einer der, wollte ich jetzt sagen, aber es ist eigentlich der Grund, warum wir diese Verbindung zu dem Essentiellen machen wollen, weil das Mitgefühl kreiert und fördert und auch unterstützt.
Good. Here's an exercise which you can have fun doing. Speaking to the yes. You may or may not understand that we often are saying what we don't want. And it takes a little bit of brain power to ask for what you do want. And this is an exercise we are going to do now.
Im nächsten, do we gonna do it in breakout room again?
I think it's easier, no?
Ja, okay.
Or no?
Also
Yeah.
Die nächste Übung machen wir auch wieder im Breakout Room, und das ist dieses, was wir vorhin kurz schon erwähnt haben, dieses positive Reden, Reden über das Ja, anstatt dass man sagt, was man nicht was man nicht möchte, danach fragen, was man eben möchte. Das ist so ein Switch, den man dann manchmal umlegen muss.
Vamos a hacer un ejercicio más en la sala de trabajo, en cada idioma, y hablando con el sí. En lugar de pedir a alguien qué es lo que no quieres, habría que preguntarle a ellos qué es lo que sí quieres o quieres. Esto es algo que se debe practicar cada día, pero que requiere un poquito de ejercicio en el cerebro.
Okay. So we're going to listen to the don'ts and try to find the opposite.
The do.
With each, yeah. What is the do? And it's often the opposite. I'm also going to show you this. So if you want to, Stella and Daniela, you can also use this. You guys can look at this and even answer the question. If someone says, don't slouch, what do you want for them? You know, don't talk so loud, don't fall asleep. To ask yourself, what do you want? This brings a positive thing. So this is something we're going to practice in the breakout room. You can translate while I organize the breakout room.
Stella, you want to start?
Ok. Bueno, en esta práctica, con cada no, por ejemplo, no te encorves o no hables así de alto, etc. ¿Cuál sería lo opuesto? ¿Cuál sería el sí y cuál es lo que sí se le podría decir a ellos? En lugar de no hagas esto o no te dirijas a esto otro.
Also gleich im Breakout Room, wenn wir uns von diesem Ganzen, was man nicht machen soll oder was man nicht möchte, wenn wir das Gegenteil suchen und die positive Formulierung, also wenn man zum Beispiel sagt, red nicht so laut, sehr bekanntes Beispiel, was ist es, was man eigentlich möchte und wie kann man es eben anders formulieren, um das Positive zu formulieren und zu fokussieren.
Okay.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you in a moment. Hi. Let me just leave this on and let's practice this together.
Mhm.
So what do you suppose is the opposite of don't slouch? Don't slouch. What do we want for this person actually? What is it that anyone wanna just guess?
Sit tall and straight. Sit straight.
Yeah. Exactly. It's easy, but don't talk so loud. Just jump in.
Do talk quiet.
Mm-hmm. Don't fall asleep.
Stay awake.
Anyway, yeah.
For instance, in Shavasana, there are a lot of teachers like, no, don't fall asleep.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's important to say what we do want for this person. Don't work so hard. Don't work so hard. What do you want for this person? As an idea.
Take it easy.
Soften a bit.
Yeah, soften, have fun. There's so many more options in the do than in the don't. Don't cry.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Don't cry. Don't be so sad. Don't cry. Why don't we want them to cry?
Cheer up.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Let it out. Cry. Go ahead. Press those emotions. Or, yeah, it's okay.
It's a good example that it does. It's a good example that it doesn't have to be the opposite, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be the opposite. But a lot of times what we say we don't want is we want actually the opposite. But in this instance, yeah, don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. What's on the other side of that? Maybe to say the opposite is the wrong thing to say. What is on the other side of that? Don't feel guilty. Take responsibility for what you did and move forward, for instance.
Accept it.
Yeah, accept it.
Try to understand your responsibility, your actions, why you did it.
Yeah. Don't take revenge.
Do you think there's also space to invite people, though, that whilst they're both crying and feel sad and feel guilty, and it's okay to feel all of those, to encourage them to just allow it to move through them without them attaching their sense of I-ness to it, and then it can be a much more beautiful experience that they can let go of and move forward with.
Right. So did we hear Georgina say I-ness, which is one of the kleshas we talked about earlier, right? So that's beautiful because we use that. We can see that there's a klesha that's creating this suffering. It's important as teachers to learn to speak from the do, because the don't creates so much
interaction,
lack of compassion and lack of connection, when what we realize is to create connection is to help accept. If they can't accept it themselves, we start by accepting it and offering something positive.
What about don't worry?
So thank you for that. It's not, don't worry.
Yeah. What is the opposite? Be happy.
Take the good
I don't
thing.
know. You guys tell me. What's don't worry? What instead of don't worry, when you say don't worry, what do you want for that person?
Carpe diem.
Carpe diem, seize the day. Yeah.
Now, depending on what the situation is. I mean, like, it's just a worry, something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, never.
I can't do a handstand. I'm so frustrated. I can't do a handstand. Don't worry. Yeah. Sorry?
Let's try again.
Exactly. Let's try again with more. Think of something you love and move into it in that fashion. And this is a simple exercise that creates the positive vibrations that lead us to connection by just starting and bending our brain to. You'll notice we say don't a lot, and to say what we do want is a much more positive way to begin making a connection. We're gonna bring everybody back.
Thank you. It's so powerful. It's like simple exercise,
beautiful,
but super powerful.
It's very simple, and it's just really good because when you lead by example, then you create a community of speaking to the yes. So, which is very important as teachers. We're really serious about our yoga teaching. We embrace the philosophy and we move with that. So maybe I stop sharing for a second as everybody comes back. If anyone comes back. Where are they? Oh, 2 seconds. They're coming back now. Here we are.
Here we are.
Hello. Hola. Hello.
Hola.
How was that?
Super.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Good. Good. It's so simple, and yet we forget. We remember to forget, to remember, to forget, to remember, to forget.
Spanda.
Yeah. Exactly. Also, so for instance, this is things that we can do to start creating connection in a really easy way. If you don't know what to do and someone says to you, don't, then in your mind you can ask, what do you want from me? And you can even say out loud, when someone says don't to you, then you can say, what do you want? And then maybe you will get, it's a beautiful way to turn around the negative information that comes at you. Yeah, that was it. Any questions? Please let me know. I'm offering these kind of philosophy talks, and it's in groups of 5 people. If you're interested in speak English or Dutch, sorry, I don't speak German or Spanish, you're welcome to join me as a new group starts this coming week on the 3rd. But more interesting is how do you guys feel about what we just talked about today? That's more interesting.
Aber vor allem, weil das ja auch auf Deutsch geht. Euer Feedback oder wie habt ihr euch gefühlt bei diesen Gesprächen, bei den Breakout Rooms?
No, pues saber cómo nos hemos sentido, que podemos hacer comentarios en Facebook, cuáles fueron vuestras impresiones en la sala y nada, estaría bueno compartir eso también en español.
Please feel free to write in the chat or share.
Léah,
chatting is easier.
Next appointment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Are we gonna jump into that?
Yeah.
While you write your feedback in the chat, während ihr euren Feedback in den Chat schreibt, möchte ich euch gerne darauf aufmerksam machen, auf unsere nächste Präsentation, unsere nächste Session, und zwar wird die mit Stella sein, die ihr jetzt teilweise eben auch schon kennengelernt habt. Genau. Stella wird auf Spanisch präsentieren, aber wir übersetzen natürlich auch wieder. And Stella, I need a translation from your theme.
Yeah. Okay, I try to do it in English. Okay, I think I will present the theme about the koshas and the
Koshas. Yeah.
koshas, cuerpos, how one kosha, for example, the intellectually kosha or the mental kosha, could reflect in the other kosha, as physical or the spiritual, and how you feel the indoor world, the relationship with the outer world, to open your mind and your heart to receive the gift, one gift, the Ananda. Okay?
I want to make it a bit shorter in German.
Never is too late. Never is too late to receive the Ananda. Okay.
Einer der Aspekte, über die Stella reden wird, ist das Zusammenspiel von den verschiedenen Koshas, wie sie sich halt gegenseitig beeinflussen und auswirken. Das war jetzt die kurze Variante. Auf der Anusara-Webseite findet ihr aber auch eine Übersicht. Da seht ihr den Link, anusarayoga.com, Kula-Bhrājana Europe Online. So you find more information about this session from Stella, but also next sessions on our website. And if you want to present, you're happy to apply. We invite you to apply. Wenn ihr präsentieren wollt, egal in welcher Sprache, könnt ihr euch natürlich gerne bewerben. Und wir würden uns über Feedback freuen, damit wir unser Angebot auch verbessern und vor allem auch an euch ausrichten können. We would be happy if you could provide feedback so that we can grow our offering and also adapt it to your needs, which is the whole purpose that we do that. And with that, I think, Léah, thank you so much for your input and the presentation, and Stella for the translation in Spanish. Really nice. Thank you all for coming. Ich bedanke mich sehr herzlich bei Léah für die Präsentation und den Input, den sie uns gegeben hat, und auch bei Stella für die Übersetzung in Spanisch. Es hat mich sehr gefreut, dass ihr heute dabei wart, und ich hoffe, wir sehen uns bei einer der nächsten Sessions, and I hope we see you soon in one of the next sessions.
See you.
Thank you very much, you guys. I hope you,
Thank you.
enjoy working with
Thank
this
you,
material.
Léah. Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Gracias a todos.